Hey, it's future Maleah. All of these clips that you see me in this setting are going to be what I think about the books after I read them. I forgot to do follow-up clips because I just got so excited to go from like book to book to book to book. So I'll be following up after I read certain books, telling you what I think about them, what I rate them. So you can just do a all-encompassing little book vlog here instead of you just watching me read the whole time, just to keep things more interesting. And also there'll be little sneak peeks to what I think about at the end of the month with all my reads. Added to my Goodreads. You didn't get to see very much, but I freaking loved Ugly Love. I read this in like 3 days, I think it says on my Goodreads. I just ate this right up. I know I would. It's a Coho book. They're all super easy to read. I think most of her books, if not all, are like 300 to 20, in the low 300. This one was 318 before the epilogue. I think that's how you say that. I always get so nervous about that word. I don't know why. But this was 318 pages, a super easy read. I love how her books are spicy, but they always add to the plot. It's not like it's just senseless, like, I don't know, getting together every other chapter. She's very like sparing with it, and she's very like, it just furthers the connection, like I said, the plot, the twist, anything. So I really love that about all of her books. Obviously her spice is like a 10 out of 10. If you don't like that, then I don't think really any Coho books are for you, to be honest, but I personally do not mind it, especially like I said, if it's not like pointless. I would have to say Miles is my new favorite boyfriend or like male character in any of her books. I'm gonna try to keep it like spoiler free because I mean it's really part of the book, but I just really connected with this character when the twist came up, because really the whole book is figuring out what in his past is keeping him from letting Tate like love him. I love that Colleen, all of her plot twists are just very realistic. They're all real life matters, and I feel like that's why a lot of her books might have a pretty extensive like trigger warning, is because they're just things that really happen and it's not like too fictiony. I feel like even though she falls into like the fiction category, it still hits home because they're like real things that happen to people, and that is why I really like this book, I think, because I don't know, I can't tell you why, but you'll figure it out and you read it. This was also a like dual timeline, dual perspective book. I love that so freaking much. I loved getting the tea from back in the day, and then how that translates to now with Miles. I would say most of the book, honestly, when I really think about it, I feel like I thought most of the book was about Miles. To be honest, I feel like you're following Tate, but I was just really invested with him. Like I said, I felt like that was more so the point of the book, was like, why can't he just let her love him? But you get his perspective from when he was a teenager and then now when he's an adult, and it just kind of like fills in the blanks of like when things happen in the present, why that affects him, and then you'll get a flashback to the past, and then it'll kind of just fill in those blanks, and it's like, oh duh. And I feel like that's another thing I really love about Colleen. It's just like, it's just so easy to follow, so easy to read. 5 out of 5 stars. I give things 5 stars based off of how attached I get to characters and just the storyline in general. Like if I am upset, if I am like borderline like depressed when a book is over, that's a 5 stars for me, because I know that I got so immersed in that story and so attached to those characters that it's like feeling like there's a void now that there's nothing else to consume. All of my books live in Elijah's room. I'm trying to figure out which one to do next. I have a whole shelf dedicated to the ones I've already read, so, and ones that I just didn't like also. So far the only books I couldn't get down with was Everything I Never Told You. I just really like the reading style too terribly much, so I just kind of gave up on that one last year, but I might try again this year. No, Celeste. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but that's what it looks like. And I think it's just the writing style I couldn't really get with, and also the same thing for Normal People. Couldn't get with that one either, so it kind of ruined all Sally Rooney books for me too, which made me kind of sad, but you know, it's not everyone's cup of tea, I guess. I know I just read a Colleen book, but I've heard November 9 goes in the same like universe as Ugly Love, so I might read this one next. Riley read Verity and he thinks he knows everything about her.
Right, multiverse theories. Get Doctor Strange in her books.
Riley read Layla too and he said that was really good. So maybe I should do that one next.
Actually, I never finished it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on like the last 10 pages. I just never finished it.
How do you just not do that? So I'm gonna start this tonight. I'm really excited. I like got a really bad reading slump last year and just completely stopped reading once I got pregnant, so I'm really glad to be back into it. Okay guys, it's the next day. I just finished my little self-care little routine. I think I showed you guys, but today was definitely a hair day, so I got that out of the way before I decided I was gonna lay down and start reading again. So to catch you up to speed, I'm still reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Let me see my Goodreads here. So far I give the book about 2 stars. It's kind of slow for me right now, but I still have really high hopes. I'm gonna keep reading, keep pushing through. My goal this year is, even though I don't like books, is to still try to finish them. At the end, we'll do like a whole like summary of like what I thought about all these books, and we're also gonna do a lot more reading vlogs, so stay tuned. My goal is to at least get halfway through the book now. Pretty good portion of the book to get through, so I'm gonna get to reading. The Girl's Guide to Murder was something for me. I don't think I would say it was as captivating for me as Ugly Love was, but it was still a really fun read and really fun to follow along and figure out, kind of like a whodunit, I would say, because she's obviously trying to figure out who actually committed the murder of Andy Bell. So like kind of following out that story, taking in all the characters and trying to like figure it out myself was really fun before like the plot twist actually happened. So I did enjoy it. There are 2 other books, so just because it's part of a series, I will be reading the other 2 books. I really enjoy her and Sal's brother's relationship. I feel like it's very, I don't know, it was the nice platonic switch up I needed from coming out of something as like romantic and intense as Ugly Love. I feel like Ravi was a very complimentary character to Pippa. She was very like headstrong and determined. I really enjoyed her character for like a girl. Not to say that in Ugly Love Tate was a like, I don't know, submissive female character, because she wasn't, but I just really love a go-getter girl, and she was going to prove what happened in this murder. Again, the chapters were very easy to read. I feel like they were very short. There was just a lot of them, but I feel like that keeps you going throughout the book. When it's just easy to digest and it's not like huge long chapters, I feel like that makes it harder for you to stick with. I would say I have to give this about a 3 stars all in all, which isn't bad. 3 stars for me is just like, it was a good book and I enjoyed the read, but it wouldn't be something that I would go back and read again, nor was it something that I felt, you know, immense emptiness with. I was kind of hoping that like this would be the end of that storyline. I'm not a big fan of series that continue on the same string of like what's the word I'm looking for, just the same storyline. I may want to get to like a jump in the future next book where Pippa's older, we're doing like other things that still are in the universe of like mystery whodunit type of thing. So if there was one critique I had that also made the rating drop down for me, it was that. I was kind of hoping this would be like tied up with a nice little bow. We move on to the next book and it's like a whole other storyline, a whole other universe we're getting into. But some people may really like that we're still continuing on with just the whole main whodunit situation. Good morning, guys. I am going to be starting my reading vlog of Twisted Love. I already started some of it this morning, so I'm on page 36 right now. So I'm not even 100 pages in. Once I get to that point, I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, I am really obsessed and I think I'm going to eat this up. So I just got out of the shower, just doing things around the house, went on some errands, so it's later in the afternoon now, but I am 152 pages into the book. I'm obsessed. Literally, I'm just eating this up. Like, I had to make myself stop because I needed to go run errands and I didn't want to. And I almost told myself I'd do it tomorrow. That's how much I love this book. The like banter between both of them is just so delicious. Like, the way I was like actually smiling while I was like reading them, like going back and forth, love that for me. Love that for my book. So as of right now, this is going fantastic. I am in love. I'm going to do some more things around the house real quick and then we'll get right back into reading, and fingers crossed I'll be able to finish this book today. I just finished Twisted Love and I'm like genuinely sad that it's over. I like did my Goodreads rating. If you don't follow me on there, you should so you can keep up with all the books I'm reading and see like my ratings early before I do videos about them. But I really enjoyed this book. If you're like a 50 Shades person, this is definitely for you. Twisted Love, oh my gosh. Again, I was so sad when this was over, and I'm still so sad. I mean, it's been a couple of days now. I'm still so sad that I do not have Twisted Games, which is the next book in this series. I just tore this up. I swear I read this in like a day and a half. I can't sit and read books like in one continuous go just because I have a baby, but if I could, this would have been done in one day. I literally am so obsessed. I don't normally go for like the I don't know, there were some times where I felt like Alex was a little bit of an ick, where he was like doing a little bit too much with the possessiveness, where I was like, she's still like a person, she's still like a grown woman, maybe let's not do that one. But I am a sucker for just the like grumpy, mean to everyone but you type of thing, so I guess it comes with the territory, the whole like possessiveness aspect. But I really love the relationship. I loved the growth of it. Again, huge plot twist in this book. No, I wasn't there. I wasn't even on the same wavelength. Like when I tell you it happens and I was like, no, she's overthinking this. Like, he's lying. Like, this is a lie. I was like, when I finally got like a few more chapters and I was like, oh my God, he's being for real. Like, this is for real. I literally just like sat there and was like, okay. And I did take a minute. I took a beat. I had to just close the book, set her down. Again, I loved the like slow burn of the relationship. I'm not a big like, oh, we meet, instant love at first sight, unless it's like more of the like boy falls first trope. I do really enjoy that. Again, it was a pretty like decently short read. I feel like it was 322 pages. I feel like that's normally like my average where I stay with different types of books. I feel like these two were also in that ballpark range, so I really enjoyed the read. I really enjoyed the writing style. It was a dual perspective. Again, I got Alex's side. I got, what's her name? Ava. Love Ava, actually. I don't know why. Just blanked. Postpartum brain. Sorry. Ava, I really loved her. She was a strong woman. She had a career path. She had like all this going for her. So I didn't feel like there was anything lacking with her. I really enjoyed both perspectives. I feel like sometimes in a dual perspective, you can kind of be like, oh, this is a little bit slow. This is kind of like a little bit of like, I feel like it's a filler until we get the spice or whatever, and that was what I was really scared of in a kind of more like spice-based book. I feel like if you're a 50 Shades person, that's kind of what it's given. So Alex is driven by a tragedy, and that is what pushes his side of the story through. We're trying to kind of figure out also like, what is this situation that he's avenging? What is this whole like revenge arc he's having? Because that's like a constant theme in his side of the book, is kind of like when he goes to work, he's talking about his revenge. He's talking about moves he's been making for years to get to this point, and we're about to be at this cataclysmic, you know, kind of, here's what's going on, here's my receipts, you're being taken down, your company's over with. That's kind of what he's giving. That's what he's bringing to like this nemesis, this like ominous little situation that's happening with him. So you're kind of trying to keep up with that and the background of like the whole slow burn brother's best friend trope thing going on, because obviously the main point of the book I feel like is just, you know, following their relationship. And Ava's kind of got this thing going on in her past too, and her whole thing is like she's had a broken little situation, but it still doesn't keep her from seeing the bright side. So it's kind of like, what is that thing? What is that thing going on? Because we'll have little parts where it's like, I want to say like it's a little like PTSD flashback, like randomly. And it's like, whoa, what's going on there? I feel like that keeps you reading too, because you're also just trying to figure out with them as individuals, what the heck is going on. Shaken to my core when the ending started coming up. I was like, this can't be it. This isn't the end. Like when I got to the epilogue page, I was like, what do I do now? It wasn't enough. I've never, like, normally, I never actually read those parts. But when I got to the part in here, I was like, this isn't enough. Where's the next chapter? I need like 4 more parts of this so I can kind of like, I don't know, end on closure. There was no closure. I was like, girl, take me Barnes & Noble. But gonna have to wait on that because I have to finish my other books. I bought too many books this month. But anyways, I love this. Definitely pick it up. Again, if you're a 50 Shades girl, this is for you. Here you go. Take it from me. Take it from me.